Car Ride, a Marvel fanfiction written on AO3 by Snow Spider Girl. The link for this fanfiction will be in the description box below, so I encourage you all to go check it out. Peter's POV. Are we there yet? Peter asked for the 5th time that hour, seemingly not caring that 16-year-old shouldn't be so whiny and persistent about time. So, Happy bit out in reply, "Get out," he said in his usual formal, no arguing voice. And normally when hearing such a command, you would do it without problem. But except seeing his face, you'd know he was joking. In Peter's case, the driver, who was rarely truthful, had his back turned to him, so you couldn't really blame his next remark. We're going 85 miles an hour down the highway in the middle of nowhere. Thinking that this was just a little game the kid found to entertain himself, Happy continued to play along. Did I stutter? In the backseat of the car were a few moments of silence before Peter's voice began to ring out again. Well, it won't kill me. And with that, Peter opened the car door, jumping out before Happy could say a single word. As Peter jumped a short distance, he heard Happy say, he might survive, but boss is gonna kill me. After hearing that, Peter was debating his current decision. While he may well survive the jump and most likely walk unscathed, this is well worth the hour-long lecture about being responsible and not giving people grey hairs. Probably not. As Peter angled his body so he could land in a cat crouch, he heard the car screeching to a halt and a worried voice yell, "A kid!" The kind of worried voice that made you instantly feel guilty and turn your head to find the source. Well, that was exactly what Peter did, making him turn and causing him to land on too much force on his right wrist. Snap. Ouch was a single word that his thoughts could come up with before he face planted into the ground. Being a very short distance to the ground, he had pushed himself up, moments before Happy could crouch down next to him. Happy, trying to be extra helpful, pulled him up by his now probably broken wrist. Peter whimpered as Happy saw his mistake. But sadly, the security guard couldn't help but swear a few more times, as Peter clutched his wrist protectively. If Peter's wrist wasn't burning with enough strength to bring a few stray tears to his eyes, he might have been able to imagine Captain America yelling language over comms. But for now, he was only content enough to deal with the pain for a few more hours. It took to heal, of course. But he had to say a few words. "I'm fine. It'll be healed before we even reach the convention." As an afterthought, he added, "No need to tell Tony." Nice try, kid, but that seems pretty painful, and I think Tony would like to know." Peter could have swore he heard Happy add under his breath, "Even telling him would be my death sentence." Defeated, Peter added, "Fine, I'll text him, and sorry about whole jumping out the car thing I pulled." "No need to apologize, kid. Anyway, I'm not the one in pain." With those 2 words, the two made their way back to the car, Happy locking the windows before they even started the engine, as if Peter would do it again, even though it would have been daredevil cool if he sticked the landing. Cradling his arm to his chest, he grabbed the phone, texting one-handed. "We're both perfectly fine, and we'll be there in a few hours." You couldn't really judge him if he did in fact text his dad like he said he would. Maybe all this would have worked out if his phone didn't start ringing a few seconds later. After accepting the call, he heard his dad's voice ask, "I know you too well to see a lie through a text. What's wrong, kid?" Peter went on full casual and said, "Normal. I jumped out of a car while going 85 miles an hour, and I might have broken my wrist." Peter mentally winced as his dad said in a dead serious voice from the other side of the phone, "Why on earth did you do that?" Peter could only imagine being grounded and the long lecture he would have to sit through, as he said, "I thought it would be fun." Before any yelling could occur, Peter hung up the phone, calmly putting it back in his pocket, and he couldn't help but hear Happy laughing his head off in the front seat.